This is Wednesday, the 29th of December 2021. This is a video now to continue on with my Irish National Stud blog thing, highlights of the 2021 season. I'm still going down the year of the stud now. To November. I've noticed a few other errors that I've made. A few mistakes I've made regarding mares that I have made that haven't met and stuff. I mentioned that I haven't met up with 20 times, and I had met her up back in June up in the open stable once, and I couldn't really get interacting with her, and she was too busy eating, and I tried to give her a carrot or something, or an apple or something like that, and I met her in the mare stables, and I had more success with her foal in the mare stables than I could get her at all. And I made a mistake also, another mistake. I made an error. I met up with one of her foals down at the Black Cherry Yard. I met up with that foal, and she was the daughter of my friend The Sky is Blazing. She had an injured foot or leg. It was her rear right leg. It was her hind right leg. Her hind right leg. It was her foot or her leg was injured. It was wrapped in it was in a bandage, and Sky's Blazing filly. It was a filly, and I saw her down at the Black Cherry Yard. I was going down to say hello to a few fillies. I think it was later in the year. I think it was around it must be near October, November, roughly around that time. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it was near towards the end of the season. It was after we came back after our 5-week break. It was around near towards the end of the year. Then I think it was September, October, November, roughly around those days. And we were going down to the wheelings, and I went down to the stables to see if there was any horses in, and I happened to spot Sky's Blazing's filly in the stable. But at the time I didn't notice her bandage. But I didn't have that much success with her interacting with getting hello. So I went down to the far side, and there was more foals at the other end. I had a few hellos with the wheelings as I went down first. I had a few hellos with wheelings first, and then I went down to the stables to see is there any more horses. And then that's when I spotted Sky's Blazing filly, and then I had a quick hello with her, and then hadn't much success, and then went down to the other end. And I went down to the other stables to have a look around the other stables, and then went down to the far side to see if there was any more at the other far fields. And Liam said, "Oh no, that's just a road, and it's a road. No, there's more horses up here. There's more horses up here. So there's more horses up there." So I had a few hellos with the other horses at the far side. But I was just looking at it and the video, and I was just hearing myself saying, I haven't seen the Sky's Blazing this year. I don't think I've seen Sky's Blazing. But the fact was, I have seen the Sky's Blazing this year. I got reunited with her down the Black Cherry Yard. It was only a brief meeting with her. It was just one meeting with her. Just the one meeting. It was a very short meeting, and I got to just going down to say hello to a few wheelings, and there she was, the Sky's Blazing, and she's walking down towards the down to the water trough. I can't remember when exactly it was now. I can't remember exactly when it was now. Oh, it's killing me. I can't remember when. Roughly around October, September, October, roughly around that time, because we didn't start going down to the wheelings fully more regularly, more than it's towards the end of the season, near around it's really around near October, near around October, November, December, that we started going down to the Black Cherry, or a lot more regular, now that we couldn't feed the legends as much cards as we used to. Because this is the last time I was able to feed them the proper full amount of cards was on the 30th of September. That's when a man came over to me and said he gave a notice. The management was noticing us giving too much cards, and he said only give them a limited amount of cards. So so from then at the end of September and October, I started spending more time down at the far end, and it was nearly about October, November, around that. It was must be mid-October, around October time, I think it was when I started really. I think it was October, August, September, October, or September, October. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I did see her. Yeah. I'm not saying exactly when it was, but I did see her, and I said I didn't see her at all this year, which it wasn't true. I had seen her. I seen her once. It was only a brief. It was only a brief reunion. It was only a brief. It was only a brief. It was only a brief reunion. A very brief. Sorry. It was only a very brief reunion with her. I got reunited with her very briefly, and I was only with her for about less than 2 minutes or something, and she went down to the water trough, and I was pretty overexcited. The sky's blazing, but I was spending more time with her foal, for her filly, and a lot of the foals, they had names of all the dams on the foals. A lot of the mares would have been in the stud as sometime or other, and a lot of the mares that were on the tags, fortunately we never got to meet. But they were in the stud. It was some stage or other, but we never got to meet a lot of the dams. Unfortunately, when one of them, that I was very sad about, was with One Accord. I never got to see her this year, and her foal was amongst the wheelings. Her foal was amongst the wheelings with One Accord. And she was owned by the Queen. That mare was once owned by the Queen, and I thought she gutted that I never got to see her this year. And another one was my friend Phililoquence. Another one was Phililoquence. I never got to see her either. Gilt Edge Girl was another one. Never got to see her either. And a mare that I didn't know that had arrived at the stud, Little Promise. I didn't get to meet her either. I never knew that she had arrived already. I didn't even know that she had arrived at the stud yet. I didn't even know that she had arrived at the stud yet. Little Promise. And a new mare called Katara. I didn't meet her yet. She's only brand new. And Abergan Lass. I didn't see her this year. Runaway Giant. I didn't see her this year. My friend Summer Spice. I didn't see her this year. Simona. Didn't see her this year. Gilt Edge Girl. I think I might have mentioned her already. Angelica Ball. That's another one. Never got to meet her. I have never met her up close. Never met her up close. I saw her last year in the Sun Cherries yard, and she was in foal. And then shortly after that, after she had the foal, I saw her in the mare stables in the Goodayard. But I never saw her out in the field. I never got physical, never had any intimate interaction with her. Never had any intimate interaction with her, nothing physical. I never touched her physically, never had any, I never got up close to her, in other words. The closest I got to her was in the stables. In the Sunchar's yard and in the mare's stables in the Kildare yard, in the main mare's and falls. Main mare's stables. In the Kildare yard. I never, 40 never saw her outside. And who else did I not see? Oh, so many topics, so many that I think top of my head. And I made a few errors. As I said, I hadn't met Baldara this year. I met her on the 5th of June. I might mention that in the last blog. And by the way, I made a few errors at the Stallion Stables. I said that there's 3 sons of Luke de Vega of the Stallions. There's Venus of Spain, and I said Lucky Vega, and I said Nando Parado, which is not true. There's only 2 sons of Luke de Vega of the Stallions, and that's Lucky Vega and Venus of Spain. Nando Parado's sire is Kodiak. So apologies about that error, that mistake. Kodiak is Nando Parado's sire, not Luke de Vega. So I made a total mess about that. So there's apologies about that now. His sire is not Luke de Vega. His sire is Kodiak. So apologies about that mistake. And so I got first introduced to him on the 18th of November this year, and so fortunately I only had just a month and a day with him so far, because it closed on the 19th of December, and I got first introduced to him on the 18th of November. So I only knew him so far. I only knew him a month and a day so far. So. But just wasn't very long, so I was only getting to know him. Then the place closed on the 19th of December, so it wasn't very long. So it was I was only getting to know the horse, and then I was saying goodbye to him just over a month later. So it was a bit sad. So, but however, so I'll see him in 7 weeks. So hopefully it'll fly by. Please God, because I really do miss all the horses. I'm going down over the year now. I'm going into the 24th of November now. So we're not coming near towards the end of the year, so already. So, but we're going. I have Liam's mum with us now. She's staying with us for the 2 nights, tonight and tomorrow night. So we used to have a bit of company. We're going shopping for the first time tomorrow night. So God knows that forever. We haven't been able to go do anything. So, but anyway. But yeah. So I have done a lot of mistakes, but my highlights of the year, I think my best highlight of the year was have to be getting reunited with all my old mare friends, especially the very first day. I think probably the first day would have to be the best. It would have to be the best start of the year. I think the best start of the year would have to be the very first day back. Is when I got reunited with Harriet Tubman. I hadn't seen her since I think it was 2018. And lovely getting reunited with her again after so long, about 2 years. And then also getting reunited again with Sibylline, also down in the main Mares and Falls paddocks. That was a very emotional reunion. I was actually very emotional seeing her. Oh God, it was actually very emotional. It's actually very nice and lovely start to the season. It was a very nice start to the season, seeing Sibling. It was absolutely very emotional reunion. You got chatting to a lovely lady from Poland as well. But it was very nice and getting me nice with my other friends, Anna Norta and Discreet Spy. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Discreet Spy. There's a photo down there, Discreet Spy, and I might have mentioned that I hadn't met her this year, which but fact is I have met her. I did meet her this year. Apologies, but I forgot to mention Discreet Spy. That I had mentioned it, that I'd met Discreet Spy. I've known her since last year. Discreet Spy, I've known her since last year. She's a lovely mare, Discreet Spy. And so it was great to see her back again. And Anna Norta and a Rogue Seamstress. I'm very fond of the Rogue Seamstress. We saw one of her foals. But the thing is about Rogue Seamstress, I never knew who she covered with until I saw the tag down in the Black Cherry Yard when I was getting introduced to her foal. When I was getting introduced to her foal, I never knew who she covered with. I never knew who she foaled with, because when I met a Rogue Seamstress, when I knew her Rogue Seamstress, I never got up close to her foal. I never really got up close to her foal. I was only got close to her. I was more up close to her, the mare. I never had any communications with her foal. I was more close to Heroic herself. I never had any communication with her foal or chat with her foal. I never spoke with her foal, had any interactions with her foal. I didn't get near to her foal, and I never knew until I went down to the Black Cherry Yard when I got introduced to her foal down to the Black Cherry Yard when it's now, when it was at 7 months old, or roughly 7 months old at the time. And it's only when I saw the tag that I knew, when I realised, it's only at that time that I realised who she had covered with. Raven's Pass is who she covered with. And at the time I knew Heroic. I never knew that. I didn't know who she covered with until I saw the foal down the Black Cherry Yard when he was roughly 7, 8 months old, And I knew her then at the time when the foal was only that high. It was only small. The tiny little thing was over a month or 2 months old. He was only small, but I never knew who she covered with. I never saw the tag. I never thought to ask about it. I never thought to check who she covered with. All I saw was her name. I only saw her name. I didn't think to see who. I saw the filly, but I didn't get to see who the father was. Funny enough. It's only when I went down to the Black Cherry Yard that I found out who the father was with Raven's Pass. And he also covered with Doc Ray one year. I think it was 2017. Doc Ray had to fall with Raven's Pass. And right, bit frog in my throat. Yeah, so Raven's Pass is who she covered with Rogue Seamstress, yeah. But she's a lovely mare, and I hope she comes back next year. Hope to God she comes back next year. Yeah. And so Lebadia, I can't remember, as I said the last block, I can't believe I made that mistake on Lebadia. No, it's last year. It's really brand new this year. Oh God. Yeah. But it was a great good season. Getting out with my old friends and making new friends. It's getting me out making new friends, and Nina Celebra. Oh, I love Nina Celebra. She's an absolute beauty. That mare. Absolutely gorgeous mare. And Nina Celebra. Unfortunately, I only met her about 3 times, I think. 3 times. I think it was. 3 times. 4 times. 4 times. 4 times. Yeah, 4 times. I met her down at the very first day. We were down feeding McFlurry and Harriet Tubman. And then a later day I met her down in the nursery 1, was feeding her cards. And then another time I was feeding her cards in nursery 2. And then I was down, but one of the days was coming near towards lunchtime, and I was saying, I was saying hello to, I think it was with 20 times, trying to get 20 times attention. and then I had no luck, and I went down to the other doors, and then Harry Tubman was in one of the stables. I went down to say hello to Harry Tubman. She's in there with her foal, and then I bumped into the lady. I think it was the same day that we were with I think it was the same lady as with what's her name? As with I think it was the day that I was with Labadia. I think it was the same as with Labadia, being her cards. And I think that's the same day. I think it's the same day. I might be getting that wrong. It was one of the days anyway. No, I say it's one of the days. Oh yeah, I think it was the same day, yeah. And I said, oh, these stalls are very big. They could be as big as the stallions. And I bumped into that lady that we saw by Lebadia's, whereas the legends earlier on in Lebadia. And back in June, it was before we were able to, it was before, this at the same time, it was around the time you were still able to feed the mares. And yeah, it was still able to feed the mares at this stage. And I said, these as big as the stallions. And then the lady called me and I said, did you find sibling on? And he said, they mentioned Nina Celebrant. And then I went down to the field, so we were just about to go for lunch. And then I said, oh, there's a mare coming over. There's a mare coming over. And it was a Beta. It was a Beta. So Beta came over to say hello when she was sucking. She went sucking the fences just per usual. She always does. And then I had a little chat with her, and then she went off. And then I was going to say goodbye to the viewers, and then I saw who I thought, and I was right. It was actually Nina Celebra. So I went over and had a quick hello with her. And Liam was getting panicky for lunch. He wanted to go for lunch as usual. So I just had a quick hello with Nina Celebra, and then we went to the Stallions after lunch, and lunch, and then went to the Stallions. I think that's the same day. It was one of the days anyway, and that's the